Welcome back. I hope you guys feel refreshed, and we are going to continue with our business function, starting with the administration function. Now, you should already know that the administration function deals with the data and information of the business. So it is their responsibility to collect, process, and distribute information. So they will gather all the information in the business and save it in a safe place. Because if the general management needs any information, they should be able to give it to them, because general management uses this information to make decisions. So they will basically store and record information, and therefore for that they use technology. So obviously they will use computers and software to do this. So basically, in a nutshell, they just perform general office work. So when we take a closer look at administration, we see that there is some basic tasks they need to perform. Now, the first task we refer to as management of information. So firstly, they need to make sure that the information is always available and accurate, because the general management needs this information to make a decision, and they need to make the correct decision. So it is administration's task to manage this information. They will also handle the information. That means that they will collect all the information inside and outside of the business and store it in such a way so that it can be recalled easily and quickly. Our third task is basic office practice. So that means just performing everyday duties. This can be maybe typing minutes of a meeting. It may be answering the phones. But this is also a major part of administration. Our fourth task is collection of the information, and here it is focused on collecting accurate and correct, relevant information. If it is like sales numbers, we want relevant sales numbers or figures, and we want the most recent sales figures. So it is admin's responsibility to make sure all the information is updated regularly. The last task then is information technology, or maybe we all refer rather to IT. So that means it is the technology that administration uses to store all the information and also to process information from data to information. So remember, when we refer to data, we refer to raw facts, where information refers to processed data, and we use this processed data to make our decisions. So that, in a nutshell, is the responsibilities of our administration function. Lastly, we are going to have a look at our financial function. Now remember, finances mean money. So this is the function or the department in a business that makes sure that we have enough money. So firstly, they will be responsible for securing or even getting enough money for our business. So our business needs a regular stream of income. We need money to flow into the business regularly so we can pay our bills and meet our responsibilities. So what financial function basically does is they plan our funds through budgeting and manage the spending of this money. So if we take a closer look at the purpose of the financial function, we will see that firstly, they must determine how much capital. Now when we refer to capital, we also refer to money that is used to start or run the business. Now financial function needs to determine how much money we need in the business. And they do this through budgeting. So they will set a budget for the entire business. then they will be responsible for acquiring this capital. So they will need to get us some money so we can run the business on a day-to-day basis. If there is any extra capital in the business, they will then invest this money for us, and they will also help the management strategize. So they will develop a plan for the business so that they can generate enough income for the business to make a profit. The last purpose we will look at is the financial statements. So it is the responsibility of the financial function to make financial statements, to set up rather financial statements that shows the management if we are making a profit or a loss. What is our income? What is our expenses? So we refer to budgets. Now we are looking at two typical types of budgets that a financial function will compile or will set up. And the first one is our capital budget. So capital budget means it estimates how much fixed capital we need. Now, if we talk about fixed capital, we talk about money or assets that is in a business for longer than 5 years. So you will see at the bottom here, we refer to stuff like buildings, machinery, or equipment. So financial function will determine how much money we need to purchase any of these fixed assets, to upgrade them. Maybe we want to have a newer machine in our factory, or even to change some of the assets, to maybe replace some old equipment with new equipment. And that is all they need to compile a capital budget. The second type of budget they must need to make or do is a cash budget. And this is the money we need from a day-to-day basis. So this is the income and the expenses. So how much money do we need to cover all our expenses? So we talk about it's an estimate of our working capital. So this is basically the money we need for our day-to-day. So this is the type of budgets that a financial function will set up. Now, it is also their responsibility to get enough money to run the business. Now, there are two types of capital that a financial function can acquire. The first type is own capital. Now, a little clue, if you look at the word owner, you see that the word own is in there. So own capital is usually provided by the owner of the business. This is a permanent capital. So the capital or this money will be in the business for as long as the owner is a part of the business. Usually, or not usually, always, this is not a liability. This means that this money does not have to be paid back over a certain period of time. And because the owner gives the money, he will then get a return in the form of a part of the profit of the business. So that is the own capital a business can get to run their business, or a financial function can acquire for the business. When we look at borrowed capital, this is usually money provided by a financial institution. So think about a bank, when we make a loan from a bank. Now we say that this is temporary capital because this money needs to be paid back. And because this money needs to be paid back, and usually we pay it back in a certain period of time, maybe a year or 2 years, we see this as a liability because we also have to pay interest on the money we borrowed from the bank. So I have a few examples here for you guys of own capital and borrowed capital. So when we refer to own capital, it can be money the owner provides, a grant, usually from the government. Oh, I'm making such spelling mistakes. Let me just fix that quickly. Government. And then also we have angel funding or venture capital, where somebody buys into our business. They buy shares in our business. Examples of borrowed capital can be a loan from a bank, or even if we have overdraft facilities, which allows us to use more money than we actually have in the bank. Asset-based loans, where we give some of our assets, like the building we own, as collateral or security for the loan. And then receivable finance, where we have investors that loan us money. So this is different types of money or capital the financial function can acquire for us. So that is our conclusion for today. I hope I have taught you a bit more about general management, administration, and the financial function. I hope you join us again. Until next time, goodbye.